This is an example application that allows us to make requests. Add a request here, and immediately it has already saved the record so that when we want to capture the latitude and longitude, we know where to update the data. So I'm going to click on Get Latitude and Longitude. It inserts it into here, but it also puts it into Street 1 and Street 2. So we immediately have functionality of a map. If I save this record and I go to an actual map of all the records requests, you can see I've got a couple here as I've been playing with it, but it's at the same property. So if you're out in the middle of a field, it will still capture latitude and longitude as opposed to address. So let's take a look at the components to it. Very first off is this button right here. Now this isn't just an add request button. This is actually calling a DB page, which will create a record and then put you back on that record so you have the record ID. Let's take a look at the code page that makes that happen. We'll come down here, and it's this one right here, create save. So when it gets over here, it needs to know, of course, what table you're going to be adding a record to and the app token that's authorized by the application. But the very first thing it does is it comes down here and actually creates a record. Over here we get a response, the XML, and we look into the XML and pull the record ID out that was created. And that gets put right into here. So we now are sending us back to edit a record, and it says which record, the one with a record ID equals the number that came back in the response, and then it reloads this page. So that in essence is that component of it. The Get Latitude and Longitude is a separate button. Let's take a look at that one while we're here. And there's a spinner. There's some at the top, so it's keeping track of the time. And when it comes over here, it's actually saying, well, wait a minute, did you send me any information? Did you send me some alternative information here? And the answer is yes. We've got the record ID that's coming over right here, and we're going to create a variable called record ID. As it goes down here, we're going to also construct the edit record, because when we call this with the information we know from above, it's going to take the information, edit the record, and do that, get the GPS location and coordinates and put them into field 15 and 16, which is Street 1 and Street 2. I also have it going into a regular local field, which is latitude, and this one is longitude, and then it reloads the page. So this code makes that possible. And let's get out of here. Let's go back, and let's look at the button here. Now, when I add this request, notice that it already has the record ID up here. That allows me to press this button, which edits the record and puts the information in. This button here is calling a DB page, and it is this Get Latitude and Longitude, and you can see I'm passing the record ID over, and I am using Vibrant Success. So this is a rich text field up here, and that allows the button to be blue. We could change that to Vibrant Danger, Vibrant Snowy, either one of those. And this is the verbiage that's in that button. So all in all, let's see if I covered all the pieces. The actual button that's on the dashboard that calls that initial page, which creates the record, it is not the same as this. If I create add new record, notice there's no number up here because this record hasn't been saved yet, or excuse me, requests. There's no number at the top of the page because this is still in an add mode. To leverage this allows us to press this. It creates the record and puts us back on it. So we have the benefit when we start to press this button. But if I go back to home, what we've done is instead of an add record button here, which goes directly, we created a button and said, let's go to a page. And what page is that? That's the create, save, and edit page, which is in our pages area. So this is what it actually creates. So once again, We're going to go to a DB page, click. It's going to figure out which table it is, put us on it with the record ID. We cover things like this in our webinars that we hold Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. East Coast time called Office Hours. All are welcome. You can find that at quickbase.com/webinars.